Have you ever felt that sudden, icy tightness in your throat right before you are about to speak up in a meeting? The air leaves your lungs, your jaw sets, and the words you prepared vanish into a blur of panic. Or perhaps you have been standing in the middle of a social gathering, desperately second-guessing every single syllable that left your lips. You watch the faces around you, searching for a sign that you have said something wrong, something clumsy, something that didn't land. Maybe you have found yourself saying a polite yes, when every instinct in your body was screaming no, just to avoid the friction of dissent. You nod, you smile, and you retreat. If you have lived through these moments, you are certainly not alone. The silence that follows those interactions is heavy, but it is a silence shared by many. We often hide these struggles behind a mask of calm, believing that the discomfort is a private failure. But notice the physical response, the shallow breath, the rigid posture, the way you shrink to occupy less space. That reaction is not a personality flaw. It is a signal of a hidden, common tension that we carry into every room we enter. Let us look at that pressure clearly. Many of us carry a heavy misconception. We believe that confidence is a trait you are either born with or forever without, like eye color or height. We watch others move through rooms with ease and assume they possess an inherent spark we somehow missed. But that is not true. Confidence is not about being fearless. It is not about putting on a perfect mask to hide your nerves. In reality, confidence is a muscle. Like any muscle, it cannot be granted, it must be built. It is forged through small, deliberate actions. Think of those moments where you chose to stand up for yourself despite the physical evidence of your fear. Your pulse might have raced, your hands might have been shaking, and your voice might have wavered in the air, but you stayed. You did not retreat. You leaned into the discomfort instead of running from it. Every time you push through that initial resistance, you are training your internal capability. You are proving to your own system that you can handle the pressure. The shake in your hand is not a sign of failure. It is the weight of the growth you are currently lifting. You are not waiting for the fear to vanish. You are building the capacity to act even while the fear is present. Now, let us move from the abstract to the tactical. To build this muscle, you must first locate where it is weakest. Confidence is not a blanket state, it is entirely situational. You might be a powerhouse in your career, commanding a room, leading a team, delivering a presentation with absolute focus. Yet, that same person might feel invisible or small at a casual social gathering. Do not label yourself as generally unconfident. That is a trap that leads to paralysis. Instead, take 5 minutes today to map your landscape. Sit down with a pen and paper. Where do you feel solid, and where do you feel shaky? Be ruthlessly specific. Do not write, "I lack confidence." That statement is a dead end. Write exactly where the friction occurs. Perhaps you struggle to speak up when your ideas are dismissed in a meeting, or you hesitate to join a conversation with strangers at a party. By naming the specific scenario, you transform a vague sense of inadequacy into a clear, manageable target. You are identifying the exact terrain where you need to practice. Once the target is defined, the path to growth becomes visible. You are no longer fighting a phantom. You are engaging with a specific, observable challenge. Once you have your target, you must face the gatekeeper of your own progress, the inner critic. We all have that voice in our head. It is the one that whispers you are awkward, too much, or entirely out of place the second you step into the light. But consider this. Would you ever say those words to a dear friend? If they stumbled over a sentence or felt nervous in a crowd, would you call them a failure? Of course not. You would offer them patience. You would offer them grace. So why is your self-talk the exception to your own kindness? When you catch yourself spiraling into that cycle of cruelty, stop, physically pause, take a breath and consciously rewrite the script. Replace the internal judgment of, "I am so awkward," with the objective truth. That interaction felt uncomfortable, but I am learning. This is not about hollow positivity. It is about removing the weight of shame that keeps you from trying again. Kindness is not a weakness. It is the tactical foundation of courage. When you stop attacking yourself, you free up the mental energy you need to actually show up. You are not just silencing a critic, you are becoming an ally to your own growth. Now, we bring the body into the fold. Your mind and your physical presence are locked in a constant, silent conversation. When you slouch, fold your arms, or tuck your chin toward your chest, you are sending a biological signal to your brain that you are not safe. You are reinforcing a state of retreat. To break this loop, you must change the input. Stand tall. Roll your shoulders back until your chest opens. This is not just about looks, it is about chemistry. When you adjust your posture, you signal strength to your nervous system. Try this right now. Hold eye contact with your own reflection for 3 full seconds. Breathe deep into your diaphragm, letting the air expand your belly rather than lifting your shoulders. Feel the resistance in your spine as you lengthen your frame. You are physically claiming the space you are entitled to occupy. As you hold this position, notice how your heart rate stabilizes and your focus sharpens. You are not just pretending to be confident, you are literally shifting your internal hormones to support the action you are about to take. By mastering your body, you command your brain to catch up. Stand with purpose, breathe with intent, and watch how the world begins to respond to the shift in your stance. Now, we must address the foundation upon which you build. Many of us try to anchor our confidence in the opinions of others. We seek the nod of approval, the social media like, or the praise of a manager to feel whole. But consider the reality of this strategy. External validation is like a house built on shifting sand. The moment the wind changes, the moment a critic speaks, or the moment the applause stops, your sense of worth washes away. You are left standing in the wreckage, wondering why you feel hollow again. This is not a sustainable way to live. When you rely on others to define your value, you are handing them the keys to your internal peace. Think of a time you received a sharp comment or were ignored by a group you trusted. Did your confidence survive the day? Or did you immediately begin to question your own abilities? That sudden drop in your gut is the sound of your foundation failing. You cannot maintain a structure if the ground beneath it is always moving. To stop this cycle, you must stop looking outward for permission to exist. You need a compass that works even when the world is silent or unkind. You need to anchor yourself in something that does not move with the tides of public opinion. If your worth is not found in the voices around you, then where does it live? You must build a compass that points toward your own core. Ask yourself, right now, what you truly stand for. Is it honesty? Is it the precision of your work? Is it the way you treat people when no one is watching? Define these pillars with absolute clarity. When you know your own values, you stop waiting for a green light from the world to move forward. Imagine a situation where you are holding back, waiting for someone to tell you that your idea is good or your path is correct. Now, strip that waiting away. When you are anchored in your own truth, you do not need permission. You do not need a consensus. You move because the action aligns with the person you have decided to be. This is the moment you reclaim your power. You stop being a spectator to your own life, governed by the whims of others, and become the architect of your own direction. When you know your compass, you can navigate through criticism, silence, or chaos without losing your way. You are no longer asking if you are allowed to act. You are acting because your own internal map demands it. The authority to move has been yours all along. It is time you started using it. Now that you possess your own compass, you must learn to guard your territory. This brings us to the 5th step: setting healthy boundaries. Too often, we view boundaries as walls built to keep the world away. This is a mistake. Think of them instead as gates. A gate has a purpose. It regulates what comes in and what stays out. Every time you say no to a request that drains your energy, you are not being difficult. You are choosing to protect your peace. Consider the last time you felt pressured to commit to something that left you hollow. You said yes because you feared the weight of a refusal. But that yes came at a cost to your own worth. When you decline an invitation or a task that does not serve your values, you are making a clear, high-impact declaration. You are stating that your time and your presence have value. You do not owe anyone a lengthy apology or a complex explanation for why you are unavailable. A simple, firm statement is all that is required. By closing the gate on what does not belong, you create the necessary space for the things that actually matter. You are not building an isolation chamber, you are building a sanctuary for your own capabilities. Yet, you will feel it. That sharp, familiar sting of guilt the moment the words leave your mouth. It happens when you finally decline that extra project or step away from a draining conversation. The mind immediately screams that you have done something wrong. It tells you that you are being selfish or cold or distant. Stop, breathe. That heat in your chest and that tightening in your throat are not signs of a mistake. They are the growing pains of a new, stronger version of yourself. When you have spent years keeping everyone else comfortable at your own expense, claiming your own space will feel like a transgression. It is not. It is simply the friction of change. When that guilt rises, do not apologize for it. Do not try to soothe the other person by yielding your position. Instead, sit with the discomfort, feel the weight of it, acknowledge that it exists, and then realize that it is temporary. It is the sound of your old, passive self fighting to stay in control. By refusing to retreat, you are proving that your peace is more important than someone else's fleeting opinion. You are not losing your kindness, you are finally learning to direct it toward yourself. This is the breakthrough. You are accepting that the discomfort is worth the freedom. Take a breath and look back at where you started. You have navigated the gaps in your confidence, rewritten the internal script, aligned your body with your intention, anchored your worth in your own values, and stood firm in your boundaries. This process is not a finish line, it is a way of walking through the world. You deserve to move forward feeling capable, worthy, and unapologetically yourself. You are not waiting for someone to grant you permission to exist. You are taking it. Every small, brave step you have taken has built the muscle you need for the challenges ahead. Do not stop now. The world does not need a perfect version of you. It needs the person who is capable of showing up even when the hands are shaking. It needs the person who knows their own value and refuses to trade it for easy approval. Keep going. You are becoming someone who knows exactly what they stand for. You are the architect of your own presence. Trust that you are ready. The life you have been trying to reach is already waiting for you to step into it. Go forward, hold your ground, and continue the work of being exactly who you are.